and potholes, traffic jams, and detours, fork roads, crossroads. I used to be the ice cream man, rocky roads. I was the contraband man in the cell blocks. Got free, they thought I worked for Lego. The way I sell blocks, like a tailor-made suit, how I fit the curses. To get the pay was my only purpose, paid, but my life was worthless. Then the Father took a hold of me, blinded me, they got to showing me that my life was upside down. I was with the walking dead. Crash test dummy, wall coming, but I was full steam ahead. Not with Zeno, but I was with the Lucy Lawless. Let that marinate, break the Father, these bars is flawless. Now I lift the scripture up, spiritual exercises. That my Savior sent the God to lead me out the dark. Ananias, yeah, I know I depend on. I got family, I know they depend on. So I know I depend on. Me, I will hire, so I know I depend on. I got family, I know they depend on. So I know I depend on. Me, I will hire, so I hire. The Father told me peace awaits. Hold on to faith. See, I know He is my power. Watch me levitate. I put my ego up. I put my pride aside. My Father's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than y'all seeing eye. So what's a mason to a chosen people? What's a meal ticket if it came from evil? See, the Father's word helped me prioritize. I have a spiritual revival and the revolution won't be televised. I was in Cali with my actual shooting army gun. Virgin that came back to the Father, teeth full of prodigal sons. I was the ugly duckling, I became a swan. Life is chess, not checkers, I am just a pawn. So if you feel the way I feel, cause you know me, I was real. He worked for you like He works for me, you know He's working still. So any glory I receive, I give it back to He. I can never give more than He, so He gives glory back to me. That makes me boss, see? I know I depend on. I got family, I know they depend on. So I know I depend on. Me, I will hire, so I know I depend on. I got family, I know they depend on. So I know I depend on. Me, I will hire, so I know I depend on. I got family, I know they depend on. So I know I depend on. Me, I will hire, so I know I depend on. I got family.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for this Shabbat. I am Kayel in the building. I got my rib, my butter pecan, Miss Artist 28. Yes, sir. My youngin' Logan is off by his pops this weekend. So we are in the building like young kids solo dolo. You know what I mean? Loving life. And all praises for you guys joining us on this Shabbat. On this rainy Shabbat in New Orleans. It is quite the nastiness. It has been raining for 2 days. All praise. So we're going to get into some info. You know, we have a lot going on in this world, to say the least, right? We have people trying to strip all voting rights as if you vote, you know, but what it is showing is that they are and have always been able to make the vote come out to their liking. Many people don't understand the difference between the electoral and popular vote. Electoral vote is the vote that's going to happen. Whoever is that is going to be the president, and the popular vote, us, the people, well, they hope that you go the same way. If not, then they go by the electoral vote. So this rearranging of districts just so that they can continue to do what they want, because at the end of the day, they would like Trump to be the next president, even though he is done with his ability to run according to the Constitution. I mean, besides that little bitty thing of someone trying to be a dictator and a king in the present day and targeting the people that they believe will be have the most issue with that would be the melanated people of this nation. So therefore, they believe that they are attacking that particular voice in that manner because they believe that's the road to where they want to go. Now, understand, even if that doesn't happen, they will put up another guy that will do the same, because this particular Republican president will do the same as the next Republican president, which is go according to Project 2025. That is the entire scope of their moves that they're trying to make as we're going into the reset of a new era. We, as Hebrews, we understand the ending of this era as the end of Esau, which will be the same people that are clamoring to create all these laws and try and keep some type of power as we are moving into a new time, a new era where new superpowers and the United States will most likely not be that. I see the Empress gal in the building. Praise Queen. So with that understanding, we look at this landscape of wars that are happening and the prices of oil and these people with that people and this war with that war. This lesson is a part 2 to what we did last week, which was the world is an enemy to order. Which order? The order of the Most High. What is that order? The 10 Commandments. In this one, we're going to show how we, as a people, when we were following the Most High, how the lands were lush that were in Africa when we were over here, because we were, before the Europeans discovered anything, we were on both sides. All praises to the Most High, right? The people that were over here, the land were lush as well before the Europeans on that end and the Europeans on this end came together and decided to destroy all these things. Now, the understanding here is that the Most High is behind all of this. We must get that the understanding is that the Most High is behind all of this. It is played out to you through what they call geopolitics. It's played out to you guys as being something that is wars and rumors of wars. But these things, the Most High said that he was going to do unto us as a people, and that he would make the lands barren where we were. He would make those lands barren so that no one else would be able to enjoy that land because we polluted it, which is why we got put in captivity, why we are here. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. They don't want to believe in that. They just want to start from slavery. Well, we're going to tell you how we got into the slavery, how we got here. And so the title of the lesson is The Barren Lands of the Jealous Nations, Shaddai's Measure of Overreach. See, in our scripture, the Most High said, because of all of our following false gods, because all of our desires to follow these other nations, that he could not allow us to be a representation of him doing the iniquity and the depravity of these other nations. That should be something simple that we all can get. But it seems to be something that people like to really deny. But the fact of the matter is the Most High said, you guys cannot represent me. I am pure righteousness. I am the goodness of this world. And if you're going to be my people and represent me, you have to be that. You can't follow the depravity of this world. So when we decide to do that anyway, when we say, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway, he says, as a result of that, I'm going to strip you of the lands where you were. I'm going to disperse you across the four corners of the earth because you did not want to follow my laws. Now, when the scattering of the four corners of the earth is where we pick up, because we are the scattered. But in this lesson, because what I'm giving you right now is what you have to do through all of this stuff that's going on. What I'm giving you is the history for you to feel comfortable standing on doing the 10 Commandments and being a righteous person and knowing that you will make it through these prophecies that are coming down. I'm going to prove to you that what's happening in the world is prophecies. I'm going to prove to you that you are the people and that the lands being barren from which you were taken and the captivity in which you're in is all prophesied. And also the destruction of those same people that brought you here in captivity, that enslaved the ones on this continent. there is a judgment for them. But the funny part is, which many people don't like to hear or never have heard before, the Most High gives a recollection of telling his angels that, yo, even though I'm putting my people in this captivity, these people are going to go beyond what they were supposed to do. They're going to go beyond my anger. See, the captivity and the oppression that we're in, I want you to know this is way beyond what the Most High intended for us. Yeah. When a lot of people talk about the slavery and the four corners and the fact that we were brought into the slave and this is punishment of the Most High, they very rarely express that the Most High said these people have gone far beyond his anger, far beyond his punishment upon us. When you understand that, then you can possibly understand that why he's going to destroy these nations, why there is not really a possibility for them to win. Yes. So we're going to stand to the east. We're going to blow the shofar so we can get into these scriptures. When we stand to the east, we are going to pray that the Most High, the scriptures that I am going to read tonight are going to be the answers to your questions of all of this chaos and all of this mayhem. Give you comfort to know how to make it through this chaos and this mayhem, so that you can have the salvation that you have, that no one can give it to you but yourself. But there is a way of doing that. His 10 commandments, his law. So we pray that these scriptures, not my banter, not my extra commentary, answers the questions that you have. Let's stand to the east and pray that prayer. And when that prayer is sent, we pray that the Most High levels you up immediately in that moment when you allow these scriptures to resonate with you. Whether that's next week, next month, or next year. All praise. Let's stand to the east. Sure. Wow. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We are in the building, man. Yes. And usually I start a lot later than this, so I am thankful that I got here, even though I am later than the notification said. And we are going to get into the scriptures now, man. So first, we're going to go with Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21. Now understand the title of the lesson, that the lands will be barren, that the Most High prophesied this. Second point of emphasis tonight is that the people that did this are going to go into captivity. The answer for us, well, they're going to go into captivity via all of these wars, right? The thirdly is for us to follow the law to make it through. So Deuteronomy chapter 32, 21, right? And it reads, they incensed me with no gods, vexed me with their futilities. I'll incense them with a non-folk, vex them with the nation of fools. So this is the Most High giving his decree upon us while we were in Yasharallah, while we were in these lands of Africa. But this is Deuteronomy taking us out of Yasharallah. This is Moses expressing to them, the Most High said that while we were in Yasharallah, not even when we got spread into the interiors of Africa and started following the voodoo religion or creating hoodoo religion or many other things that we have done and following these other nations, the Most High says, I am vexed by you claiming these Dagon as your God, claiming Baal as your God, claiming Moloch as your God, calling Jesus, Mohammed, any of them your creator. Most High says, you have vexed me with that. So much so that I am going to put a non-folk, a no-folk. What does no-folk mean? Now, I used to always want to say that non-folk meant people that weren't even humans. You know, we got this human and Neanderthal thing going, this Denisovian thing, this, you know, Homo erectus thing happening here. We got science that want to tell us about all these different types of people. So I always said non-people, we're talking maybe Neanderthals, but when you really look at the scripture, what the Most High is saying, people that are not of the covenant, non-folks, people that he would not consider his folk, kinfolk, the 12 tribes that follow the law, the children of Abraham, the seeds of Jacob. Everything else is a non-folk. So the Most High says, I'm going to incense them with the non-folk. Who are we incensed with? We don't have to go into race because this is not about color. This has nothing to do with color. In fact, at this time, mostly everyone was melanated. They were in the Levant. It was the region. They still brown skin like me, but they were much darker back then. Yeah. So we're not talking race. Most High could care less about the race of the God that you are choosing. He could care less, right? Most High says, you have vexed me with following a non-God. That not me, not Shaddai, as written in Genesis chapter 17, Ahia, verse 1 through 2. So he says, since that, I'm going to take these non-folk and I'm going to have them rule you. He says, these are fruitless people. Vex me with their futilities. I'll incense them with a no-folk, vex them with a nation of fools. We can clearly see that we're run by fools. We can clearly see that there are people that say that they're not racist, but are. We can clearly see the hypocrisy. We can clearly see how they can figure out how to do 1.8 billion for reparations for Republicans that felt like they was told the wrong things by Democrats and the ones that attacked the Capitol on January 6th, that they can get a $1.8 billion restitution for them, but they can't figure out slavery and restitution and what people they need to pay here. Us, the children, people of the Most High, because they're fools. You're ruled by fools, these nations, right? So then it says, verse 22, for a fire has flared in my wrath and burned to the bottom of hell. Isn't that where Jesus supposedly went and got the keys? He said, Most High said, I burned all the way down to hell, has consumed the earth and its increase, eaten down to the base of the hills. I will sweep misfortune on them as opponents. I will sweep misfortunes on them, use up my arrows on them, wasting famine, ravaging plagues, daily pestilence, and fanged beasts will I let loose against them with venomous creepers in the dust. I see my brother Yuan's in the building, Shabbat Shalom. So the Most High says this was why we in this position. You can go to a slave master if you want. You can go and point at a white man if you want. You can go point at a corporation or even a house of Virginia or a house of Bourbon. Either one of them if you want to, point a finger at one of those slavers. Most High said he will take all the credit. They're just tools. He told you that they were going to be fools that you were going to be ruled by. What part won't we understand? What part won't we, Except, let me know if you're trying to come on camera. I'll let you come on if you want. I don't know if that's just from Facebook, but let's go ahead and let's get a precept to this. Let's go to Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36, and we're going to verse 34, 35. And it reads, and the desolate land, after laying waste in the sight of every passerby, shall again be tilled. So the Most High is saying, let's go to 33. Thus says the Most High, when I have cleansed you of all your iniquities, I will people your settlements and the ruined places. This is what we're talking about today. The title of our lesson is The Barren Lands and the Jealous Nations, Shaddai's measure of overreach. So the Most High is telling us that he's going to cleanse us and the ruined land. So when he's dispersed us, we were dirty. The lands which were fertile are now desert. And now when we return us, he will make the lands fertile. He will make the people fertile, and we will repopulate. This is all about the barren lands. How the Most High said that when my people are gone, lands are going to be barren. It won't be fertile until I come back, until I bring my people back. All right. Last one on that one. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Yeah. Deuteronomy 28, verse 23 and 24. And it reads, verse 23 of Deuteronomy 28. It says, the skies above your head shall be copper, and the earth under you iron. The Most High will make the rain of your land dust, and sand shall drop on you from the sky until you are wiped out. Hold on. All right, everybody, you one on here. So we're talking about the barren lands, the lands that where we were. They took us from West Africa. Let's not forget that. West Africa, but you're going to see that before 1492, when Christopher Columbus set sail, we were ruling in that land, and it was plush green. What you say there, brother?
Shalom, my brother. What's good? What's your Shabbat Shalom?
Shabbat Shalom, brother.
Yeah, my brother. Good to be with you on this Sabbath, man. What we on?
We are going through these scriptures explaining how when the Most High took us from West Africa and what they know as the sub-Saharan, that the sub-Saharan was actually fertile and beautiful. When the era of Esau, 1492, and before that, when we were taken and brought over here in slavery, the lands became a desert, dust, as the Most High says right here in this Deuteronomy 28, verse 23. Again, I'm going to read 23 and 24. It says, verse 23, the skies above your head shall be copper, and the earth under you iron. The Most High will make the rain of your land dust, and sand shall drop on you from the sky until you are wiped out. So this is the prophecy that happened in the sub-Saharan, or the Sahel, as they call it now, in the places that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are. It was called something different back then when we were ruling it. It was called the Songhai dynasty. Yeah, we're going to get into all of that. Right now, we are proving out that the Most High was upset with us. We are proving out that the Most High said that when he took us into captivity and scattered us, that our lands where we came from would be barren. And I'm proving tonight that they are barren now in the sub-Saharan and Sahel. And then the Most High says that in this new place that you go, you're going to be in this captivity. But the Most High also said that he was going to put a measure on it, and that the people that took us in, that they were going to go beyond his anger, beyond his punishment to us. But right now, we're going to get to that in a second with Zechariah. But right now, we're finishing out this proving out of the barren land. For the last one, let's go to Isaiah 24.
Deep into that Isaiah. Isaiah do.
Oh, Isaiah does the thing. It's the oldest script that we have still intact.
Yeah.
Isaiah 24, verse 4 through 6. And it reads, the earth is withered and seared. The world languishes. It is seared. The most exalted people on the earth languish. This is what the Most High is talking about, right? Once he put us into captivity, the whole world saw this. This is no accident that the whole world was about Black Americans. It's no confusion to what happened in the transatlantic slave trade, the Arabic slave trade, the Spanish Inquisition and the Catholic Inquisition and the Spanish slave trade of the Reconquista. The whole world knows about this. The whole world knows what people were brought into captivity. They are in confederacy. They've given you a story of Christopher Columbus to fall behind. But I'm proving to you by his words what he said he would do. And now you can correlate that to history. And the Most High says again in this Isaiah chapter 24, verse 4 through 6. Verse 4 says, the earth is withered, seared. The world languishes. It is seared. The whole world is seared. The most exalted people of the earth languish, us. For the earth is defiled under the inhabitants because they transgressed teachings. It says, for the earth was defiled under its inhabitants because they transgressed teachings, violated laws, broke the ancient covenant. The Most High is not just that we went into captivity, the exalted people of the earth, but the land also was seared, was put into a submission, where it was dropping sand from the sky. That's what we just read in Deuteronomy. Now let's go to the understanding of this kingdom of Songhai. Let's go to Zechariah. Chapter 1. Because even after we fled from the Romans, after we fled from the first one, the Babylonians, right, with Nebuchadnezzar, when we fled all of that, we still was able to try and build something, and it was built in West Africa, in Southwest Africa. Man, come on, where is it? That's Zechariah right here. All right, Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15. And it reads, and I am very angry with those nations that are at ease. For I was only angry a little, but they overdid the punishment. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Let's go to 14, just to give a whole understanding. Then the angel who talked with me said to me, proclaim, thus says the Most High of the army, the host, I am a higher, very zealous for Jerusalem. For Zion, I am very angry with those nations that are at ease. For I was only angry a little, but they overdid the punishment. Verse 16, assuredly, thus says the Most High, I graciously return to Jerusalem. My house shall be built in her, declares the Most High of hosts. The measuring line is being applied to Jerusalem. Proclaim further. Thus says the Most High of the hosts, my towns shall yet overflow with bounty. For the Most High will again comfort Zion. He will choose Jerusalem again. Not in present tense, but again. Stating that he was only upset with us a little bit when he put us in punishment, but these other nations that are living at ease, that have put us in the punishment, have gone further than what he has ordained. Let's go to Isaiah 47 to prove it out. And then we're going to go and check out the Shanghai nation, right? So Isaiah 47, verse 6. And it says, I was angry at my people. I defiled my heritage. He's talking about us. We are defiled. I put them into your hands, but you showed them no mercy. Even upon the aged, you made your yoke exceedingly heavy. You taught, I shall always be the mistress still. You did not take these things to heart. You gave no thought to the end of it. The Most High says that you took my children. You cared for none of them, even the elderly. You made them follow your gods and made them a mistress and did not take the things of why he destroyed us to heart. You want to call yourself a Christian. You want to call yourself a Muslim. You want to call yourself these religions, but you are not giving it up to the Most High. You are giving your praise and worship and following a doctrine, not a law, but a doctrine. It is what Allah says, or what Muhammad says, or it's what Jesus says, or what Paul says, or what the rabbi says. It is supposed to be what the Most High has said. Again, verse 6, Isaiah 47, I was angry at my people. I defiled my heritage. I put them into your hands, but you showed them no mercy. Even upon the age, you made your yoke exceedingly heavy. Then he comes to those nations and says, you thought I should always be the mistress still. Like the Most High was going to always still like them. Like the Most High was going to say, okay, you can always use us to beat them. We at ease. That's what we said in Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15. He said, y'all went beyond my punishment. Again, he doubles down on this precept and says this. Read to you guys the Shanghai. So it reads, the Hebrew Shanghai refers to the legendary Zai dynasty, also spelled Z-U-W-A of Shanghai, Empire, West Africa. According to regional oral traditions, the 17th century chronicles of Tariq al-Sudan, the dynasty was founded by a Yemenite Jewish prince who fled to the Niger River in the 6th century. So he's saying Yemenite, that's somebody coming from Yemen. But Yemen got the story that we fled from Jerusalem and went all the way down to Yemen. Not only there, but even into what they call present day Sri Lanka. In those areas, right? Because Abraham in Babylon was right there, right? In Iraq. So we're talking same peoples, right? So he had run from this area, and it said the legend, according to local tradition, Alaman was a member of the Yemenite Jewish community. Please dodged the hijack of Yemenite, of the whole Jewish community thing, fleeing religious persecution. Following the fall of Jewish Himmerite kingdom, following the fall of the Jewish Himmerite kingdom in modern-day Yemen, he and his brother crossed Africa and settled in the ancient trading town of Kukuyaya on the Niger River. The rulers of the Zai-Zua lineage consisted of the first 14 kings of the early Songhai state prior to the region's widespread conversion to Islam. So when they give you these time frames, understand they give you the whole Songhai from the time of Hebrews and also the time of Islam. But we are talking about the time of the 14 kings that were Hebrew kings before Mansa Musa changed it to Islam in that area. Wasn't until Mansa Musa that they turned into Islam. Y'all can check the facts. So in this area of what we will call Mali and whatnot, and I'm going to share my screen because I got a Songhai Empire ping here that I can share to show you guys. So as you'll see right here, how much was the Songhai Empire, right? So let's read. So move to Gao, as you can see Gao at the top of the map. And it says around the 11th century, which will mean 1000. All right. This is before 1492 and the transatlantic slave. We've been kicked out of Jerusalem. We fled to the interior of Africa. We created our own kingdom in the west of Africa throughout these years, right? So coming at this point in time, they're showing in the 1000 AD, right? They moved into Gao, right? And it says the political focus on the kingdom shifted 134 kilometers north to the city of Gao, which became the cosmopolitan capital of the expanding empire. Religious shift. The first 14 rulers are often described as Jahiliyah, spelled J-A-H, Jah, like they have in Jamaica, and it's spelled Jahiliyah. So Yah and Jah are both inside this name that these people had in the 1000. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? When we got these people that have been dispersed and got different names for the Most High. I don't know if y'all paying attention. I don't know if y'all hearing what I'm saying. Maybe I got too much information for you, but let's try it. So it says, before Islam, around 1010, my birthday, 1010, the Zai Kusol became the first ruler of the dynasty to convert to Islam. So they started Islam in 1010. There was no Islam in West Africa until 1010 AD. That, for you historians, that really should ring a bell for you. So this area, right? So then it says the transition of power. While the dynasty established the initial Songhai state, the Songhai people eventually became vassals of the massive Mali Empire. In 1430, there's 300 years after they made them convert to Islam, these are still Hebrews. I want you to understand, even though it turned they converted to Islam, these are still Hebrews. They got converted. These are still our people. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So when you get these people that'll tell you on the slave ship, when they watch the Alex Haley movie Roots, and they hear the guy saying Allah on the slave ship, I'm now explaining to you why they're going through 300 years, 350 years of conversion. So now they're telling you, in 1430, the Songhai broke away from Mali and regained independence under the Soni dynasty, a direct continuation of the ancient Zai lineage. So we pick back up. All right? We broke from Mali and Islam and then picked back up in 1430. When did Christopher Columbus set sail? 1492. So at 1430, we just broke from Islam, tried to get back to our Hebrew roots. And from 1430 to 1492, which is what? 3 from 9 is what, guys? 6. So 60 years before Christopher Columbus. But hold on. And it says, from Mali and reigned independence under the Soni dynasty, a direct continuation of the ancient Zai lineage. The most famous ruler of the area was Sani Ali the Great, who conquered Timbuktu, Guinea, in the 1460. So now we broke away from Mali, but we're now took over Timbuktu and Guinea, and we're right above what they call modern day Ghana. We're right by the Niger River. The guy who sits, Guinea is right by the Niger River. So then it says, he was later succeeded by Askaya dynasty in 1493, which ushered in the golden age of the Songhai Empire. How did it come into the golden age in 1492 when they took us all in slavery? It went back to Islam. There it goes. The oral traditions, because Islam did the Arab slave trade. And who you think the Muslims enslaved during the Arab slave trade? I mean, who they was fighting? Us. Who broke away from us? Us. Who built a nice kingdom called the Songhai dynasty right after we left you? So who would you be putting in slavery at that time? Not your own people, not Muslims. Right. Not when you got these troublemaking Zad dynasty Hebrews. See, the oral traditions and chronicles linking the Songhai earliest founders to Yemenite Jewish roots are central to the history of the Jews in West Africa. This historical narrative highlights the deep, ancient migrations and trans-Saharan trade networks that connected the Middle East and the Horn of Africa of Sahel to explore the broader. So let me now play this video I got for you guys. There's a map. Now, understand the dates. 1430, 1492. Now we're gonna pull up this YouTube video that showing a map of 1587. We're talking 100 years, close to 100 years after 1492, a little bit more than 100 years from 1430. But let's it's a short video, it's only 6 minutes. But let's share this screen. I see my sisters in the building. So let's go to there we go.
Today I'm going to go and open up
Fair Use Act. Using this only for educational purposes. We got love. This is the video Atlantis and Noah's Ark found in the 1587 world map. Right?
a map that has been lost in history for over 430 years. The Urbano Monte Planisphere world map from 1587. Yes, we're heading back to the Renaissance. This particular map is about 10 feet wide or about 3.1 meters, and it has so much information on it from the past. So we're going to put our mindset of Renaissance.
Now, he's going to move through this quickly because it's only 6 minutes, but the part that we're focusing on in this video is how plush the sub-Saharan was in 1587. Meaning that it was plush when the Songhai and the Soni dynasty. That's why it was much easier for them to make a dynasty when they broke away from the Mali Islamic Empire. But note when that comes up, we're going to be pausing at that area, but he's going to cover the Noah's Ark. He's going to cover a couple of things that was well known and understood in 1587.
Let's go back in time and check out a couple very interesting topics that I have found on this map. One of them is Atlantis. Now, are we going to be looking specifically at Atlantis? No. But there is some fascinating information for some of the interesting things going on. And the other one is Noah's Ark. It's quite amazing. There's definitely some information on Noah's Ark, and we're going to take a look at that. So why don't we begin and jump in to the video. Let's go. When we look at the 1587 map, the Atlas Mountains aren't just a barrier, they are a gateway. And Plato claimed Atlantis was swallowed by mud and water, leaving the area impassable. If you look at the Atlas Range on Senor Monte's map, the Sahara isn't just an empty void of sand. It is filled with massive lakes, flowing river networks, and thriving kingdoms.
Sony,
somehow. The region of Dada and the surrounding areas. Senor Monte populates these lands with specific tribes and cities, names like Taberarin, Guade, and Mese. Classical historians like Herodotus wrote about an ancient, enigmatic tribe living right here in the shadow of these peaks, the Atarantes and the Atlantes. Herodotus explicitly claimed these mountains took their name directly from Mount Atlas. Are these the descendants of the survivors of Atlantis? Modern genetic studies of the indigenous Berber populations of the Atlas Mountains show deep, isolated lineages that date back tens of thousands of years, and their own mythologies speak of ancient, powerful kings that existed before the desert swallowed the green Sahara. Sleuths look at the Rikat structure further south. They see the skeletal remains of a city. But when we look at Urbano Monte's map, we see the peoples and the water waves that survived the cataclysm. The Carthago Monte's map, we see the peoples and the water wave. Right. Internet sleuths look at
I want you to look at Negri Negrito is what is going to eventually spell, but this is the Negro, right? Who are known in America as the Negro. What were the people that were taken into captivity? The Negro. Is this not the sub-Saharan, which also is connected to Atlantis, which he is explaining? And the map that I just showed you of the Songhai dynasty would encompass all of this area.
The Rikat structure further south, they see the skeletal remains of a city. But when we look at Urbano Monte's map, we see the peoples and the water waves that survived the cataclysm. The cartographer proves that this region remained a center of mysterious, ancient, geopolitical power long after the world forgot where Atlantis truly sat.
Now, for some of you that are into Tartaria, right here, for all of you.
After the world forgot where Atlantis.
Tartar right there. Tarta. Tartaria is what is also part of this whole little Atlantis.
Truly sat. For centuries, the location of Atlantis has been a wild goose chase. And most of the people look deep under the water in the Atlantic. Some are looking in the Mediterranean Sea. But what if we are looking in the wrong entirely? Because we forgot how to read ancient maps. We're looking in the wrong place. See, Plato, he famously wrote that Atlantis sat directly in front of the Pillars of Hercules, which is modern-day Gibraltar. And this area was ruled by Atlas. He was the first king of Atlantis. And right behind those pillars sits the massive Atlas mountain range in northwest Africa. All right, explorers. If you thought that was a wild story, I got another one for you. We're going to talk about what's happening on the other side of the Mediterranean when we look at the...
So we're not going to get into that. That you can continue to watch this video. Please check this guy out. He's got some good information. He's really breaking down this map. He's at data 1B4, and he has a couple of ones, the Giza Pyramid and the Great Wall discovered on the lost 1587 map. So do check out this gentleman's page. Let's go to the next part. As make sure this thing is not. So when we're looking at this map and what he just showed from the 1587 map, that is all of it. These Atlantis Mountains, as well as what we know as Gibraltar, which came from Tariq Gibraltar, who was a Hebrew that was converted to Islam. These are historical facts that goes along with the Yahya line of Ben Negro. So when we understand that the Most High said that the lands would be barren, as we are looking at Isaiah 47 verse 6, I was angry with my people. I defiled my heritage. I put them into your hands, but you showed them no mercy. Even upon the age you made your yoke exceedingly heavy. Let's go to Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10, and it reads, for the outrage to your brother Jacob, disgrace shall engulf you, and you shall perish forever. On that day when you stood aloof, when aliens carried off his goods, when foreigners entered his gates and cast lots for Jerusalem, you were as one of them. How could you gaze with glee on your brother that day? On his day of calamity, how could you gloat over the people of Yehuda on their day of ruin? How could you loudly jeer on the day of anguish? How could you enter the gate of my people on its day of disaster, gaze in glee with the others on its misfortune, on its day of disaster, and lay your hands on its wealth on its day of disaster? How could you stand at the passes to cut down its fugitives? Let's go to Jeremiah 30. The Most High has explained this to us, and we have half the story with the slave trade. And now we're fighting over half the story. We're fighting over the people that we became once we got here. I'm showing you that we were the people that broke away from Islam. We were in the area prior to Islam, that we did not follow the laws, and that when the Most High prophesied that he would take from us and disperse us, that he would make the lands barren, and the sub-Saharan is barren. When the Most High said that he would disperse us across the four corners of the earth, and that the people that he put us in the hands would go over, and he would measure that, and it would be part of their calamity, as Obadiah is stating right now. That this same Esau, this same Edom, this same brethren that was in these areas that coincided with these other nations, you're gonna get yours doubly. Let's go to Jeremiah. Most High says he's got a perfect hate for y'all. That is what he said. That is what he has said. Jeremiah 50 verse 33. And it reads, thus says the Most High of hosts, the people of Yasharallah are oppressed, and so too the people of Yehuda. All the capturers held them. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is mighty. His name is the Most High of hosts, Shaddai. He will champion their cause so as to give rest to the earth and unrest to the inhabitants of Babylon. Do you notice how the Most High has us and the earth hand in hand? His creation of the earth, his creation of his children, the ones that follow his law, the earth follows his law. nature follows his law. Do you notice how the Most High puts his people in direct juxtaposed to his law following earth and land and creatures that he created? Let's go to Jeremiah 30, verse 16. And it reads, assuredly, all who wanted to devour you shall be devoured, and every one of your foes shall go into captivity. Those who despoiled you shall be despoiled, and all who pillaged you I will give up to pillage. But I will bring healing to you and cure you of your wounds, says the Most High. We must understand, man, that it is about us coming back unto the law. It is not about us being concerned about the voting districts. The Most High is saying that these people went far and beyond what his punishment and his anger was towards his children. That's what he said in Zechariah 1:15 and what he said in Isaiah 47:6. That these people went beyond his anger and that the angels are tallying their oppression on us. When we call upon the Most High to bring the receipts, as they like to say, when we as all of Yasharallah come together in one cry and ask the Most High to bring forth his receipts, we won't have to be concerned about voting or voting districts. We won't be concerned about the beast system. I'm not telling you some flim-flam stuff to go off like Jim Jones and drink the Kool-Aid. I'm telling you what the Most High said in his words. Look at the Songhai Empire. As the video just showed you, it was plush, it was green. They said kings of King Atlases and all these different kings and whatnot. We have 14 of the Zai dynasty of our Hebrews that went from Songhai to Sonni, still of the Zai lineage, bloodline, heritage. And when did it all fall? In 1492. And also before that with the Islamic slave trade, the Arabic slave trade. They were tired of us. We had too much. The Most High blessed us with land, blessed us with the goodness. They were all too ready to be the despoilers. They were all too ready to be rich with their confederacy with Rome. Esau, who hates us. So that's who the neighboring African nations got with. They got with Esau, our brethren that hated us, that hates us to this day, the Catholic Church, the Roman Empire. And through the prophecies of Paul came our demise. And let's go to, but the Most High said, I got a plan for them, no. And all these people that say they with us, if you are of the class that deems itself above us, and you have seen the brothers on the corner, and you are concerned about you going into slavery, let me tell you this as a PSA, public service announcement to you. If your grandparents was one of the worst slave masters in the world, if you change your ways and you follow his law and treat people as he has ordained us to treat people, then you can get yourself off of that slavery list. But if you want to look in the eyes and the face of the Most High's prophecies, of the Most High's word and say, you don't believe it to be that you believe that Jesus died for everybody's sins, and you can continue to act ill and ugly to a people that you believe through social engineering is less than you, or you believe that you should be above them, then you may find yourself on some shackles. That's just reality. But if you have made that decision that that's not the type of individual you want to be, and you are going to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, then, as I said, off the shackles you would be. But note this, when you hear people talking about it, you as the other nation should be telling others, yes, this is a fact, and you understand it, and you have figured out a way to not be there. And maybe if they decided to not be racist, bigots, then maybe there's salvation for you. But if you want to continue the road that you've been on, there's a place for you. Let's go to Ezekiel 35:5. Our last precept for this. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. And it reads, because you abhorred an ancient, we say, because you harbored an ancient hatred and handed the people of Yasharallah over to the sword in their time of calamity, the time set for their punishment, assuredly, as I live, declares the Most High. Since I didn't even see you, say the world looks flat. Yes, sir. Say loud. Bring it out, Negro. Yes, Negro land. Yes, sis, I just saw you coming. So in this 35:5, the Most High through Ezekiel is explaining about this ancient hatred that Esau, the Roman Empire, has for his people. And he says, verse 5, because you harbored an ancient hatred and handed the people of Yasharallah over to the sword in their time of calamity, the time set for their punishment, assuredly, as I live, declares the Most High. I will doom you with blood. Blood shall pursue you. I swear that. For your bloodthirsty hatred, blood shall pursue you. I see Kathleen in the building. We are in nations full of bloodthirsty people that want to go to war, drop bombs. Trump makes the thing about I'll wipe out a whole nation of people if I got to. I ain't tripping. Don't make me do it. don't make me do it. I want it, but don't make me do it. The Most High said, Esau, Edom, Rome, the Vatican, King Charles, United States, the vassal of Britain, the vassal of Vatican, vassal of the Roman Empire. If you don't know how the line goes, the Most High said, those are the bloodthirsty people, and blood shall follow them. Blood shall pursue them. So how are we going to put people in captivity? Well, you're going to be bloodthirsty. You're going to go to war. You're going to lose that war. You're going to be hypocrites. You're not going to want to have efficacy and equality across the board. And that's going to lead you into these violent acts to hold your position, and you're going to die. And the ones that's left over are going to have no power. And they're going to have to go into captivity to work because they wouldn't change. You get it? Because they wouldn't change. Moses said, if you're going to stay bloodthirsty, you're going to stay on this track. I have a judgment for you. He says, as he lives. I mean, the title of the lesson, the barren lands and the jealous nations. Shaddai's measure of overreach. What these people have overreached and done unto us. There is a recompense. Let's go to my man, Habakkuk. Yeah, I'm really falling in love with Habakkuk lately, man. That's one of my new favorites. There you go. Habakkuk 1, verse 13. Chapter 1, verse 13 of Habakkuk. It says, you whose eyes are too pure to look upon evil, who cannot countenance wrongdoing, why do you countenance treachery and stand by idle, while the one in the wrong devours the one in the right? See, this is the thing that the Most High is going to bring to everyone. This is the thing that's going to be brought to your elites, your oligarchs, your racists, your trailer park Ku Klux Klan, your ratchet black, your ignorant Negro, your gangster, your man walking with the Most High, the ones not walking with the Most High. The Most High says, if you call yourself that, how can you sit back and watch what Jeff Landry is doing? If you call yourself following the Most High, yourself pure, as my man Drewski was making fun of these white Christian women, you're so pure, but you can watch all of this iniquity and bloodshed done on another community. Most I say, I thought you was too pure to see any evil, to do any wrongdoing, but yet you can watch the treachery of others. But call yourself pure. Let's see. And stand by idle, while the one in the wrong devours the one in the right. You have made mankind like a fish of the sea, like creeping things that have no ruler. Most I see you like creeping things that got no law, no rulership. You just devour the things smaller than you because you think you can. Then you don't get enough. Just keep on doing it. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Oh, yeah. See, these jealous nations and your overreach, the Most High says there's a day for you. And even for the ones that are with the ancient hatred of us as Esau and Edom, we got a special one for you. You know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy 4, verse 27 and 28. And it reads, the Most High said to Aaron, go meet Moshe in the wilderness. He went and met him at the mountain of the Most High, and he kissed him. Moshe told Aaron about all the things that the Most High had committed to him and all the signs about which he had instructed him. Then Moshe and Aaron went and assembled all the elders of Yasharallah. Verse 30. Oh, I'm sorry. I dog it. I'm in Exodus. I'm supposed to be in Deuteronomy. My bad, guys. My bad. Deuteronomy 4, this time, verse 27. And it reads, the Most High will scatter you among the peoples, and only a scant few of you shall be left among the nations to which the Most High will drive you. There you will serve man-made gods of wood and stone that cannot see or hear or eat or smell. Is that the Most High telling us that he's commanding us to do that? When he says that you're going to do it? No. He's prophesying that we would do it. and said that we had an if then. If you stay with him, grace and mercy for thousands of generations. If you go with the false gods, I will curse your children to the fourth generation. But yet, we think that following or voting in this nation is going to change the things that we need to change. We all know we are a supernatural people. Let's call on our supernatural power, not divination and split our power amongst these other gods. No. Let's go to Jeremiah 16, verse 19 and 20. Lo, I am sending for many fishermen. Lo, I am sending for many fishermen, declares the Most High, and they shall haul them in. And after that, I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them. Out of every mountain and out of every hill and out of all the cliffs of the rocks, for my eyes are on all their ways. They are not hidden from my presence. Their iniquity is not concealed from my sight. I will pay them in full. Nay, doubtedly for their iniquity and their sins, because they have defiled my land with the crops of their abominations, and have filled my own possessions with their abhorrent things. Verse 19, O Most High, my strength and my stronghold, my refuge in a day of trouble. To you nations shall come from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers inherited delusions. Our fathers inherited utter delusions, things that are futile and worthless. Can a man make gods for himself? No God are they. Assuredly, I will teach them once and for all. I will teach them my power and my might, and they shall learn my name is Shaddai. Now, since we have the Masoretic text, instead of saying Shaddai, they put Lord. They didn't even put Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. They put Baal's whole last name. Yeah. No. Shaddai. Know his name so you know how to read these scriptures, know who your power is, who we going to be calling upon. Because voting ain't going to get it. Going to war against this nation ain't going to get it. Bearing arms against the army that all your kids are in ain't going to get it. Stepping away from the SEC, that could get it. Boycotting their economic slave holdings, yeah, that'll get it. Calling upon the Most High, being more righteous than the people that are taking you in, that'll get it. Oh, yeah. Let's go to our redemption. Let's go to Jeremiah 30, because this is what the Most High has ordained for us. There is downfall and flames and blood and slavery, but ours, Jeremiah 30, chapter 7, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7 through 10. And it reads, that day is awesome. We just read in Jeremiah 16 when he says that he's going to, in that day that the Most High is his refuge, right? And he said on that day, and here when it says, that day is awesome. There is none like it. It is a time of trouble for Jacob, Yaakov, us. But he shall be delivered from it. How are you going to be delivered? By following the law. It's the only way. And it says, verse 8, in that day declared the Most High of hosts, I will break the yoke from off your neck, and I will rip off your bonds. Strangers shall no longer make slaves of them. Instead, they shall serve the Most High, their creator, and David, the king, whom I will raise up for them. Y'all should really meditate on Jeremiah 37 through 10. Let the Most High tell you what he mean by it. You ask him where Jesus fit in it, and let him tell you. Don't read nothing else. Read this, go meditate, and ask him where Muhammad and Allah fits in this, where the rabbis fit in this. They don't. I'm not here to make friends. We're here to talk the Most High talk. We're going to drop down to verse 16, that same chapter 30 of Jeremiah. It says, assuredly, all who wanted to devour you shall be devoured, and every one of your foes shall go into captivity. Those who despoiled you shall be despoiled, and all who pillaged you I will give up to pillage. Who is the Most High talking about? He's talking about his people. Who is his people? Well, as he said in Deuteronomy 32 in the beginning, when we talked about the non-people that he would raise up, and non-people didn't mean alien, it meant people that were not of the covenant. So in order for you to get this, you have to be a part of the covenant. What is being a part of the covenant? The 10 Commandments, the law. Let's go to Ezekiel 25. I only got 2 more left for you guys. Ezekiel 25. Verse 12. Through 14. Ezekiel chapter 25, verses 12 through 14. Thus says the Most High Shaddai, not what a man says, but thus says the word of God. Because Edom, the Roman Catholic Empire, Jesus acted vengefully against the house of Yehuda and incurred guilt by wreaking revenge upon it. Assuredly, thus says the Most High Shaddai, I will stretch out my hand against Edom and cut off from it man and beast, and I will lay it in ruins from Tema to the Dan. They shall fall by the sword. After he already said, blood will pursue them. I will wreak my vengeance on Edom through my people Yasharallah. As Paul said in Romans chapter 11, we are enemies to their gospel. So that's why we will wreck them, because it's not the law. It says, my people Yasharallah, and they shall take action against Edom in accordance with my blazing anger, and they shall know my vengeance, declares the Most High Shaddai. Listen, I'll go to 15. Thus says the Most High Shaddai, because the Philistines and their ancient hatred, which is modern day Islam, acted vengefully with their utter scorn, sought revenge and destruction assuredly. Thus says the Most High, I will stretch out my hand against the Philistines and cut off the Chadites and wipe out the last survivors of the seacoast. I will wreak frightful vengeance upon them by furious punishment. And when I inflict my vengeance upon them, they shall know that I am Shaddai. We here for the law, man. Last one for the night, guys. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. Zechariah, chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 8, and it reads, the former said to him, run to that young man and tell him, Jerusalem shall be peopled as a city without walls. So many shall be the men and cattle it contains. And I myself declare the Most High will be a wall of fire all around it, and I will be a glory inside it. this is what we are following the law for. This is why we are obedient to the Sabbath, so that the Most High will bring us back and will be that firewall around us, and his glory reside within us and within our gates. I give all praises unto the Most High. I'm thankful for the map showing the Most High's prophecy that the land will be barren as we were taken from it, and we will be scattered. And then he went further on by saying the people that he allowed us to be scattered were non-people. And the reason why the land is barren, and the reason why we were scattered, because we turned from his law and followed other gods. So the Most High said that those other gods, those people thought that they would always be his mistress, even though we would be the ones he was married to, that Edom and Esau and these treacherous nations of Psalms 83 would be his mistress forever. But they went past the Most High's anger. They divulged and had too much joy in their arrogance and oppression of us. The Most High says, I have something for them. I pray that you guys got this understanding today, and to know that as you've seen history play out his prophecies, the future will play out his prophecies. And the word that he has given us is to follow his law for salvation, to make it through, to make him your rock and nothing else. All praises. Me shalom. We'll see you guys on the next one. By the way, we have a Instagram page that is Hebrew State of Being, and somehow we lost 30 subscribers, so we can't go live on our Instagram page. So if you guys could subscribe over there on Instagram, Hebrew State of Being, we would greatly appreciate it. And we're going to have to start us a little campaign on that channel so we can get our subscribers back up, so we can go back live on Instagram as well as our normal Facebook and YouTube. So with that, all praise to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We will see y'all next Shabbat, if not soon.